It was a quiet day back in 2021 when Octane said to himself, Lego's been doing this trend recently, and there's been lots of animals based off cute and marketable things. What's the Zelda equivalent of that? And given that all projects at the moment were going through rejection on Lego ideas, and a certain something hadn't exactly happened, we were in a bit of a position where I was like, I have made some things before, therefore why don't I prove myself and say anybody can get to 10k on ideas? Because, as we'd seen, not every idea on ideas has to be good to win. So, I started work on what would be the next Lego Zelda project to get rejected on ideas, and I was going to submit it and everything, and make a video, and it was going to be about this. What exactly is this? Of course, everybody knows it all too well. This is the Korok, appearing from Wind Waker, Breath of the Wild, and now Tears of the Kingdom. This little fellow was going to be our easy ticket to 10,000 supporters on ideas, or so we thought. Why, you may ask? Well, Lego loves these things, and this thing fits all of the above. He is marketable, memorable, cute, and iconic. There's lots of variants with which everyone has a favourite, meaning he's customizable. He's small, making him easy to build, punishable, and you can throw them really far, therefore making them perfect to fill the exact same niche as 2018's Porg from The Last Jedi, hated by the masses, adored by a minority, and punishable for those one people on YouTube that want to throw them at things. And so the video was born. You may have seen it, but about over a year ago now, I started construction on what would be my Korok Ideas project. And it was going really well, and we were on track to finish it in a couple of weeks and get the thing tidied up and submitted to Ideas. And then this happened, where we found out that Zelda was blocked on ideas. After I finally get my act together and decide, instead of making customs for the internet, why don't I actually put them towards the 10k ideas threshold, and therefore start getting ready to get some nice prize rewards for reaching 10k, as apparently there is. We were then immediately blocked as due to an IP context, and this sort of ended the project. Dead in the water, completely stopped. However, I think it's time we give it a little revisit. Because now that Tears of the Kingdom is out, I think I want to see this thing finished and have it out of my half-finished projects folder on this computer. So, without further ado, it's time to find our little friend and see how things turned out all these years later. So, if I lift up this rock, we will find... Yeah! Okay, maybe not exactly what you were expecting, but, this is what I achieved. I hate it. And I think we need to analyse why. Firstly, he's wonky. Secondly, it looks really cursed. He's disproportioned, obviously. The different combination of plates and things makes him look incredibly knobbly, and given how smooth Koroks are, that is not a good thing. There are gaps everywhere. He's kind of big and not in a good way, still punishable and can be thrown really far, as you probably should to break this model. But obviously that's not going to cut things. You know I don't do things simply here. So let's take a deeper dive and discover the decisions I made, and please don't run away. I have excuses, I promise. So the other big thing to talk about with this guy, of course, is the fact that he's customizable. I hinted to it earlier, but the whole point was that the leaf mask, the one part of this model that I actually like and probably has the most effort into it, actually looks really good, and therefore I was planning to include all the other masks for the other Koroks in this set. I hated building the body so much that I did not include this. But all hope is not lost, because between all of these guys and then Makar and the rest of them, well, there was a lot of options here. This would have been a fantastic ideas set. However, something has gone wrong, and I'm going to prove it to you. See here? See this arrow? Watch this arrow move. What did that arrow do? I wonder. It's a curve. Whoa, who would have guessed that not all 3D objects are, well, cubes? Let me break this one down for you. It's a complicated object. So here we have Mario and we have Link. Now, I would describe Mario as being round, and I would describe Zelda as being curvy, as illustrated on your screen right here. Mario round, the Zelda franchise, all kinds of curves. See it everywhere. Round buildings, wobbly lines. The Korok is a hourglass shape with other weird angles pointing out of it. And Lego, as you can see even by their logo, it's a square. It's all squares, and the limited round and cone elements we do come in preformed sizes. It is very difficult to create natural custom curves wherever you like. Let's look at some examples. Oh, a round skull for a Hinox? Pretty difficult. Looks a little wonky. Definitely to me, at least. You've got the Spirit Train wagon. This is from an art style of a cartoon where all of it is curved. It's all curves. Every surface curving. Water would not sit on these flat roofs, I tell you. And yet in Lego, it just kind of looks bad. And then Magma Hands, a flowing, liquidy lump. Zelda is just curves. It's all curves. Far as the eye can see. There's no straight edges outside of the flux constructs, and we've already discussed how difficult those were as well. So, what have we learned? Koroks are much harder to translate than I originally thought. Does this mean I'm giving up? No. We'll talk about that in a second. But right now, to me at least, Koroks need to stay in figure scale. Well, yes, they still look square, they still look blocky, and they don't look perfect, but they look better. And fingers crossed, that's what we see in a real Deku Tree. However, this concept has legs. It would not have made it as far as it did if I didn't believe. I believe there is hope for this Korok yet. Let's talk about that now. And not just in the molded form, like you might expect from a CMF figure. I beg you, Lego, please do a large Makar. I would love big Makar, but I also don't want Makar to go through this punishable fate. So my message is, Lego, please try this. You've done Dobby, you've done giant figures, and you've done R2. Can you do this for the Koroks or something else Zelda and cute? It would be really neat, and I think we would like it. I think that is my message here. We're going to go and take a look at the model now, but first, let's talk about version 3, because I'm not giving up. My version 3 will come one day, not anytime soon. I'm busy. However, I have officially added this set to the Wave 6 of the custom set showcase. Yes, that's right, everybody. Wave 6 confirmed. He's making progress. It's not like we're halfway through Wave 4, starting Tears of the Kingdom Wave instead, and ignoring all of my responsibilities. But Big Korok will return in Wave 6, and I promise I'll actually learn from the Porg this time, and it will look much better. Thank you very much for listening to my rant about the Korok. Now let's go take a look at the model in studio. Well, I didn't exactly just want to leave you with the rant. I wanted to actually show you the file and talk a little bit more in depth about the things. And as well, once I reached a certain point, I sort of knew it wasn't worth saving, so I sort of ditched the things. There's a couple of things which led to this thing's downfall. One, poor planning. Obviously, you can see that this middle section is 8 wide, and yet I only built the sides to be 6 wide. It's just kind of a mess. To be honest, the top half I don't have as much of a problem of. See, like, look at this. But the fact that the two sides are uneven, which makes this weird ribbing effect on one side, but this smoother side on here is another huge part of what made the Korok difficult. The other aspect, of course, is the fact that the gaps I tried to close from multiple sides, which means it's all uneven. And then the other problem was, of course, using the unsystemized Technic frames. I need to go back to using the normal ones when I make the new version. The way forward, of course, is to actually do this as panels, base it all off a plate and then layer it up from a central core. That will definitely allow me to achieve what I want. As for the actual legs and arms, I'm pretty happy with the arms, probably need a little bit of work. And then the top left side here, this is okay. However, this one here needed more work, so maybe it's a case of embedding a slightly larger cone or something. I don't really know right now, but the point is, there's also some scaling going on, right? Like the mask, which I thought was too big to begin with, the body is just too big for it. It probably needs to shrink by about 4 studs in width, probably about the right height wise and so on, and that doesn't even include the fiasco of a connection mess which is going on behind here to join this through and angles, but we talked about that in the previous video as well. Now, I don't mind all the gaps and so on, and I still definitely want to see this project come to reality, because personally to me, the idea of being able to, in a sense, customize your Korok base with whichever one of the face masks you want to represent your favorite one from Breath of the Wild is a really cute idea, and a nice spin on the large figure sets. And obviously they are very popular. We've seen absolutely loads of them, including the mechanical sculptures from Harry Potter, and then of course stuff like the scaled up minifigure, or more specifically stuff like Dobby, I think is the closest analogy, and the Porg. This one's directly based off the Porg. The lack of play features, I suppose, is also a little bit problematic. But I think above all else, I do really want to give it another shot, because this face portion here, if we just drag this out, you can see the mess it's left behind. I think that's fantastic. Yeah, it's not stable, but it looks great. And I would love to see that, along with the other faces, be actually a part of this system and make it actually work. So That is a challenge for future Octane, and I will have you know that it's not like I've just moved this to Wave 6 to save an idea. It was already in Wave 6, even back before I did the Ideas project, but I decided to fast track it so that I could work on it for Ideas, because I thought it was the best choice in my custom set showcase for Ideas. But it was planned to be revisited eventually. However, I still thought this design was going to work, and I thought this would be a fun attempt for a video. Boy, was I wrong. So here's the Korok update that we no one needed, seeing as Lego Zelda on Ideas got banned and there was no need for me to make an Ideas project anymore. Um, yeah, here he is. He looks awful. I think a large portion of it is the lack of a truncated waist, but by that point I sort of knew it was too late. Something's off with the scale here. It's almost like a 2/3 of a Korok. Anyway, it's cursed, but I do love the face. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.